Doing well. My Monday's been a doozy. Not a bad thing, but just a busy thing. I'll get to that momentarily while we are waiting on. Oh, well, I should welcome you. Welcome to Cooped Up Live, should I say. My daily ish podcast, blogcast, webcast, whatever you want to call it, where I just talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. Coopedup.com is my website. You can visit that anytime to catch up on what I'm doing, sign up to get emails from me, all that fun stuff. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all the social places. Would love a follow wherever you are, particularly on the Instagrams. And last but not least, wherever you watch or listen to this, it is broadcast on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, as well as rebroadcast in audio format on all of the major podcasting platforms. Would love a follow, subscribe, click the bell, whatever they call it. So, hey, Mama, how you doing today? Hope you're doing well. What a gorgeous weekend we had here in Dallas, Texas. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but here it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I tried to stay out of the house as much as I could yesterday, especially and the day before that, including drinking on the front porch, ordering in and just eating it on the front porch, all that kind of stuff. Our pool deck is still a wreck. We still have some roofing materials out there. Yes, the roof has been on for 4 months now, but they've still got some stuff staged out there. So sitting on the front porch is about as good as it gets, which I don't mind because hot people run by when I'm sitting on the front porch. So, but this Monday, today, let me tell you, it's not been a bad day. Nothing particularly bad. Just a million things that I had to do today, and I'm only about halfway done. And it's what, 4:35? Yeah, 4:35, and I'm only halfway done. Woohoo! Yeah, I still got to take Claire to roller derby practice tonight. They have an assessment. And that was a lot of the weekend was spent collecting all of her stuff, new roller skates. She already had the pads from roller blades. Need to get a new helmet. The mouth guard is supposed to be here at any moment now. I don't know if it's going to make it in time, but we'll see. But we're going to roller derby practice tonight, and I'm taking my laptop with me because that is how much shit I got to get done today. And only about half of it was on my to-do list. It was stuff that just popped up, needing to be tackled. Everything from like a work meeting that popped up to a last-minute yearbook ad that I had to design for Mason's graduation because they're due tomorrow morning. And I just found out today at like 10 o'clock that they're due tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So I had to do that today. So yeah, but it was for me, it was a good weekend. You know, Friday I wasn't here because Eric and I had one of our big boozy lunches. We met at Toulouse and had some drinks and had some eats and started at like 12 and left at like 3 o'clock. It was a good time for that. But just as a reminder about how life can turn on a dime. So great Friday, wonderful Friday. Saturday morning, I wake up to a text from Eric that his dad had been killed in an accident on their farm. And I don't know the details of it, but we were just on such a high the day in the evening before, texting, laughing, sharing stories, teasing each other on Facebook, all of that. And then the next morning, his dad is no longer with us. So Eric is in Iowa now. He is from Holstein, Iowa, and that's where his dad lived. He flew up there yesterday. I texted and talked to him on Saturday, and then Sunday. He was in better spirits on Sunday, I guess. That's probably not the right word for it. It was he was writing the obituary and writing the eulogy and all of that kind of stuff. He's very, very good at writing eulogies. Strange, I know, but like I've seen him give one before, and he is fantastic at it. Just knows the right buttons to push, heartstrings to pull, keeps it light and funny, but not like irreverent, like that sort of thing. Very good at it. So I don't know if he's watching, but we're thinking about you. But so he flew out yesterday to Iowa last night, and today is being spent with his sister Lisa, making the arrangements, figuring out where all the stuff is. Because, at least when my dad passed, so my dad's funeral was actually a year ago yesterday also. So it's weird how the timing is. When when you know someone is dying, as we did with my dad, because he had a stroke in October, and then a series of setbacks, and then eventually a stroke took him the following March of 2022. We were already getting things in line. We were making sure his will was okay. We were making sure we knew where his accounts were. We knew what bills needed to be paid, how to pay the property taxes on his house and the small little ranch that he had, and all kinds of stuff like that. And so, I just don't know that with Eric's dad if they even had that, because he like I said, he was tragically killed in an accident on Saturday morning. So think about Eric, send him some wishes, and hopefully he'll be back with us pretty soon. Totally different subject. Another thing that happened over the weekend is we finally got our shit together and planned we're going to Mexico on Saturday. So for May break, so this is the last year that my kids both have May break, because our school, as a reminder, is more or less a year-round school. And so we get all these random, wonderfully random weeks off, days off, all kinds of stuff. And so we have school this week. Next week is an off week because we go till June 15th. And so last year I took them to Cancun. Everyone begged to go back to Cancun, but I wanted to do something a little different. I was actually looking at Puerto Vallarta. It is so beautiful, and it's so much more lush, and the Bay of Bandera is so beautiful and all of that. But it's significantly more expensive than Cancun. And to go down just for 3 or 4 days, the financial part of it wasn't making sense. So we are going to Cancun, but we're actually going down. So we're flying into Cancun, and we're staying at a place called the Fives Resort, something like that. And it's a bigger resort. Like the place we stayed last time was a hotel that kind of wrapped around the pool on the beach, but there wasn't like a lot of grounds and stuff. This one has a lot more like grounds and a bigger beach. It's down on the Riviera Maya area, so just south of Cancun, kind of in that not Puerto Vallarta, that's what I just said. Playa del Carmen and Tulum area. So we're excited about that. PV is so gay. I know, I love it. It is so beautiful, and I wanted to go there, but we just, again, the numbers didn't work out. Here's something interesting, though. Normally, so on vacations like this, I am a big fan of aavacations.com. That's American Airlines Vacations, because 9 times out of 10, you end up booking the vacation and you either get the flight for free or effectively for free, or you get part of the hotel for free, or they have special offers or upgrades or things like that. It is significantly cheaper to go through like AA Vacations or Southwest Airlines SWAvacations.com, those types of things, to book the trips. We booked to Italy one time on American, and we're able to fly in business class and like 10 nights of a hotel and all that kind of stuff, and it was wonderful. So highly recommend those. But here was the interesting thing. Sometimes you have to check both. So we are normally AA people. AA as in American Airlines. I need to clarify that. And Todd has status and all of that kind of stuff. And so Cabo. I did not even think of looking at Cabo. Great deal with the kids to Cabo next month. Oh, maybe I missed out on that. I've never been to Cabo. That's why it didn't pop into my head. But the Aaron said that, by the way, if you're listening on the podcast later. So I checked American Airlines Vacations first, aavacations.com. And I'm not paid to make any of these endorsements. This is literally just me making recommendations to y'all, as I do. And so was looking at all these resorts, and the pricing, it was fine. I mean, it was okay. It was not wonderful, but it was okay. Everything's a little bit more expensive these days, right? So I thought, okay, I was going to have to stretch, and I was not about to downgrade. So I wanted an all-inclusive for sure. And I know some people poo-poo at all-inclusives. I find them just to be the easiest thing when you are traveling with kids and drinking a lot and all that kind of stuff. It's just, nothing sneaks up on you with that. So all-inclusive, but I wanted it to also be either 5-star or a 4-star place, because Daddy's not staying at 3 stars anymore. And so that was my criteria for it. And so I looked at a couple of places. There was this one I fell in love with called Grand Velas in Puerto Vallarta, and it was beautiful, 5-star, tons of wonderful reviews. I looked at reviews on American Airlines' website. I looked at reviews on like TripAdvisor, all of this. Everyone had nothing bad to say about this place. And so I was like, okay. And Todd was not planning to go with us at this point either, because just the way it was the way the schedule was falling and having to take days off, all that kind of stuff. So it was just going to be the three of us, as it's been the last two May breaks that we've had. But then I started checking Southwest Airlines vacations. Normally to me, Southwest is almost never any cheaper. Like flying on tickets, and the experience is not as good as American. They claim to be friendlier. I don't know about that. I don't like the lineup thing. I just like knowing where my seat is. I like boarding first, all that kind of stuff, right? But if the price is right, I will consider it. So we looked at SWA vacations, and it was about $1,000 cheaper, just on the absolute number, about $1,000 cheaper for the same resorts, same general arrival and takeoff times. To certain places, you have to change planes, and that's a little bit different than American. But for $1,000, there's a lot of aspirin I can buy for a headache that's caused by saving $1,000. And so we were looking at that, and then I was like, oh, let's look at Cancun too. And Cancun was coming in about half the price on both of the sites, about half the price of Puerto Vallarta. And I'm like, okay, if this is meant to just be a sit by the pool, kind of hang out at the beach with the kids kind of thing, all of that, I don't know if we'll do an excursion or not. We did the cenotes last time, and it was a big hit. I don't know if I'd do that again, but we'll see, maybe something else. But I was looking, and also there, was coming in at Southwest was about $1,000 cheaper for the week, or however many days we were picking. It depended on how it's still coming in like $1,000 cheaper. And I was like, okay. And by the way, $1,000 on a like $3,500 trip, $4,000 trip, like that was not bad to me. I mean, that was a big savings to me. So I was really looking at it, started talking to Todd about it, and Todd's like, well, maybe I want to go after all. So we started playing with the dates, and we got the dates. I think we're leaving on Sunday, and we're coming back on Thursday. And Todd is going after all, which reminds me I need to book a dog sitter and hedgehog sitter. But the interesting thing is that by moving the dates and switching to Southwest Airlines, we saved so much money compared to what we would have paid at American Airlines vacation. So I'm not saying I'm a Southwest convert, because again, rarely are they actually any cheaper than American. They just say they are, and it's on a different website, and you can't price compare it without actually doing it. And for us, so a lot of people are like, but I like left field so much better. From our house, DFW Airport is faster, easier to get to than left field, because left field is technically closer by miles, but you have to drive city streets to get there, because it's not on a major highway. It just sits in like the middle of town, and you have to take like just main artery roads kind of to get there. So for us, DFW is better. I actually think DFW is a far superior airport. Give me DFW over any airport that has a single point of entry. I think DFW Airport, I've said this before, is one of the most genius airports in the United States of America, if not the world, because you drive exactly where you need to take off. And that is brilliant to me. Security lines are a lot shorter, all of that. So anyway, but we're going to Mexico. I'm going to Mexico. So I book our vacations to leave on Tuesday, and we always save money. Yep. So sometimes if you leave on Saturday, you save money too. That's why I was looking at Saturday to like Tuesday or Saturday to Wednesday, because sometimes if you leave on a Saturday, you save, because a lot of the people who want to leave for the weekend leave on Friday. They don't leave on Saturday. And also I did not want to, I don't like coming back from vacation immediately before I need to get back into life. I like a few days so latest I would ever come back from a vacation and I had to work and have school with the kids on Monday would be Saturday. So, but we're coming back on Thursday just so we get some stuff done and all of that. So, I save money on kids' vacations so I can go all out on daddy vacay. I know, right? That makes sense. I will tell you though, knowing that I'm going to be out next week has not helped in the busyness of this week at all, right? So I'm just going to have to hunker down, double up on my ADHD meds or something. I don't know. So, what else? If y'all have anything you want me to talk about, please chime in. I literally have one more thing on my card. It may be a shorty. I know I always say that. So there is something that is in the news cycle right now that this is going to be the rant portion for me. That is in the news cycle right now that is driving me insane because it is being so inaccurately reported by certain news channels. By certain news channels, I mean Fox News and all of the conservative stuff. So if you're conservative, stick with me. I'm not criticizing your point of view or anything on this. This is all about the reporting and the manipulation of conservative outrage on certain issues, in this case, trans issues. So here's the deal. So the London Marathon was last week, and there was a trans runner in the London Marathon. And this person is being reported that a trans woman, so male to female trans person, which, you know, trans in sports is like one of the hot button issues for the super conservative folks, that this trans woman beat 14,000 people, women who are running in the London Marathon. That's how it is being reported. Okay, technically that is true. Technically, this woman, I think her name is, what's her name? Jelaine, something like that. Jillian, I don't remember her name, but something like that though. But this woman, yes, technically placed ahead of 14,000 women who were running this marathon. Here's the thing, though, that they are not reporting, and I have not found it mentioned in any. I've looked on Fox News's all of their articles about this, and unless I was skimming too fast, I did not see it. The thing that is missing from the conversation is that this trans woman placed like 6,257th in the race. So, yes, while it is true that she beat out 14,000 other women, she was beaten by almost 6,300. She came in like 6,300th place, just shy of that, 6,300th place. I would hardly call that like unfair advantage, stealing the medal, stealing awards, all that kind of thing. Yes, technically, her placing in that one position did affect 14,000 people. But you know what? 14,000 people are placing that. So you're placing like 6,500 in it, 14,000 in it. I mean, that means they had 20,000 runners basically. And so 2/3 of them. So this trans woman was in the top, what's the math on that? Top third of it. But that's hardly bragging rights. That's the thing that I'm just like, why are they upset about this? Because, you know, I know a lot of people who run marathons and they think that is that they run marathons and they think that they are so it's like a hobby to them, but they don't do particularly well in them, which is fine. I mean, I'm not going to run 26 miles. 26 is my lucky number, by the way. If there was anything I would do physical fitness wise tied to my lucky number, I guess the marathon would have to be it, but I'm not doing it. But but there's a lot of people, I would venture to say that it's safe to say that probably 10 to 14,000 people in a 20,000 person marathon are just doing it for the fun, like just doing it to hang out, doing it to say they did it, like bucket list checked, like that kind of thing. I bet at least 10,000 of those people regret doing it in the first place. I know so many people who do a marathon and they're like, one and done, never again. My feet are destroyed. My legs are destroyed. I shat my pants. Because you know people do that, right? Like all of that. So, and Aaron is saying with that much estrogen injected, she isn't competing as a male by any means. I agree with that too. There's just not, and just like the running. So it would be different. And I'm not even saying this is true. I'm just saying comparatively running to me, 26 miles, there are a lot of women that are going to beat most men running 26 miles. Like just the amount of endurance that requires doesn't have to has nothing to do with the physiological makeup of the person either, right? So it's just determination. It's more of a honestly, I think running 26 miles, and it's like 26.2 miles. I mean, at that point, I am counting like the feet, I think. Like, I don't know. But to me, that it's more of a mental thing than a physical thing. So anyway, Garrett is asking, did you know how Joe was so FAF this weekend? What does FAF stand for? Something on fierce as fuck? Is that what that stands for? Hang on, I'm Googling it. I don't know. Fit as fuck. Okay, that's what that means. Fit as fuck. You know what? Here's the thing about Joe Biden. You know, if you want to know what he's talking about the correspondence dinner and all of that. I think that he is a very, very energetic. You know, there are people who are 80 who run circles around people who are in their 60s. My dad died at 68 years old. My in-laws are going to be 80 next year. I would say that my in-laws are healthier, fitter, more mentally there than my dad was at 68. So, funny as fuck, you're saying is, yeah. So I think he's just a funny guy, and he's a sweet guy. I think he means super, sincerely all the things that he does. I don't think that his son's doing him any favors, if we're being honest. And a lot of people are like, well, he like loses his place in sentences, and he seems like he's old. It's like, well, first of all, he is old, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, it is a very stressful job. I get that part of it. He also has a stutter that so he's on every camera, on every channel, in every country of the world is looking at President Joe Biden, and he has to watch it. If he started stuttering on stage, I think that would be a bigger like red flag to people than if he just like stops, regroups himself, or has to slow himself down. So, but yes, the jokes were on fire. I loved the jokes. So you have to Google it if you haven't seen it. He's so funny. Really good at the self-deprecation also, which I think is important. And Aaron, going back to the marathon, let's face it, men are weaker than women. I ain't giving birth. I agree. I think that there are a lot of things that men are artificially, quote unquote, better at than women simply because women either weren't allowed to do them or they're stupid. Not women are stupid. The thing is stupid. And women are smart enough to not do it, right? So anyway, so many rants about that. So I read that. I saw the headline this morning, and I'm like, what? How have I not heard about this, about the trans runner in London? I was like, how have I not heard about this? And then I started getting into it, and I'm like, oh, 6,300th place, and people are pissed off. That just means they're pissed off that you exist. And that's the problem, because you know what? They're also pissed off that I exist. And they're pissed off that my family looks the way it does. And I say, it's just to the level of absurdity. When we did that JCPenney ad, some of the comments were less upset about the gay thing, and they were like white supremacist comments that they were upset that we were raising Hispanic children, brown kids, and potentially leading them to believe that they were white, that sort of thing. So Aaron is saying we're used to a president speaking before thinking. Yes. What is wrong with thinking before you speak and taking time to collect your words and being deliberate? Like, I think that is, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at that. Obviously, I'm not. I do this at 4:30 most days, and I bet half my names are wrong and all that kind of stuff. That's why I would say this is news-ish. So anyway. Alrighty, well, that's all I got for today. I think I caught all the comments. As I mentioned last week, I am going back to broadcasting on Facebook. I'm broadcasting this only on my Cooped Up page. I'm not doing it on my personal profile anymore. It was just getting too confusing with the comments and all that kind of stuff. I can see them all in one place, but other people can't. Do you feel offended by the comma? The Kamala joke. What was the Kamala joke? did what? Let me Google it real quick. Kamala Harris joke at correspondence dinner. What did he say about her? Oh, is it about The View? About the guy told The View that he was that Roy Wood Jr. What was the joke? I did hear it, that he was nervous about poking fun at her. I think that no one is off limits at that thing. What was the joke though? No one is showing it. They're just saying, anyway, she of course responded with grace, saying she believes in First Amendment and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, I just got a hate speech violation. Oh no, did you really on Facebook? I just got a hate speech violation for saying women were stronger than men. That is crazy. That she doesn't work. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, he said she doesn't work, but then he went on to say that what vice president looks like they're working, right? And I don't even know if it was about actually working, but what vice president, when did we see Pence and say, oh damn, he's a hard worker, other than trying to escape from the insurrectionists? And, I was thinking about that also. Like, what vice presidents in recent history was the last vice president to actually win, and he only won one term? Was that George Herbert Walker Bush in like 1988? I believe that is the case. And then his vice president was Dan Quayle, and he didn't even run. And then we had Clinton, and Clinton's vice president was Al Gore, and he did run, and he lost by like a court ruling, basically. Do you ever wonder, like, if the world would be different, like how like the intersection of things would be? I don't know. Anyway, Pence is hiding in White House janitorial closet. That's what he said. Yes, that's what he's really good at. So, all righty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. It's time. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Don't should yourself to death. No good comes from should. And I will be here. I should be here tomorrow at 4:30 for an episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Bye.